just want to make a quick impromptu video about Kobe Bryant. So I woke up on Sunday, and I arose a little bit late on that day to text on my phone, and it was from my friend saying, "WTF? Kobe died." And that just, like, my heart literally jumped. Not because I was the biggest Kobe fan or a Lakers person or anything like that, but just seeing that, I think there was something about Kobe that was so invulnerable and so unstoppable seeming that what he did on the court kind of transcended death almost for a lot of people. Like, he didn't seem vulnerable. Obviously, you know that everybody's gonna die, but you know, when certain accidents happen and people die, he was just the last person I would expect to die in like a random, almost like nameless accident, if that makes any sense. So I was really sad, especially to know that with his daughter in the helicopter, that, and the other people in the helicopter, that he was probably going down thinking like, man, I'm somewhat responsible for this, or damn, like I put my daughter in this situation and it looks like we're about to die. I bet that thought went through his head. And so it was really fucking sad for me. And like, I'm not the biggest Lakers person or Kobe fan or anything, but it was just weird. Being a millennial, you know, I grew up watching Kobe Bryant, and, you know, it wasn't until recently that I kind of was actually thinking about his mindset and his winning mindset and his heart and his determination. Sort of a similar thing that was going on in my mind like a week before Nipsey Hussle died. It's weird. It's like I realize that these certain public figures, there's something of inspiration in them, or I look at that and it comes on my radar and then they die. Obviously, like, I'm not implying anything magical thinking with that. I'm just saying it's a weird coincidence. And so all that day and all Monday, I was really pained by this for some reason. It hit me weird. You know, usually if it's, you know, other people, Anthony Bourdain, whomever else, you know, conspiracy theories may swirl, and you know, some people may have been putting out documentaries about certain things, exposing some Epstein type shit. But like, with Kobe, it just seemed like a pure random accident. I don't really think there was a conspiracy theory. I mean, people are saying it was the Grammys, and so, you know, it was a sacrifice. I don't really think in this case the mechanics of that make any sense. But anything is possible, I guess. But I don't think that it was any conspiratorial type shit. In any case, I was thinking back to sort of the history of Kobe, and I got a little light bulb. I knew that the SJWs and the just the anti-life type of people who are just anti-Nietzsche, anti-strife, anti-overcoming, pro-Hot Pocket, pro-fucking mac and cheese, low T type of people were going to bring up what were likely false fucking allegations against Kobe Bryant. And which, you know, at the time of the sexual assault allegations on Kobe, it was a different time. It wasn't the time when, you know, if a man and a woman had sex and they were both drunk, that the man would be considered a rapist. It wasn't at the time where a guy hollering at a girl in a liberal city would be considered some type of sexual harassment or even assault. It wasn't at the time when social media and SJW resentment was at the point where it is today. And so, but I knew that today, like in this current time, people were going to be bringing up the sexual assault case on Kobe from, 15 years ago. And so I was ready for that. And, you know, like a self debasing idiot. I expose myself to the leftist commentary on this, and the hyper feminist commentary on this matter, and all these articles saying Kobe's legacy is more complicated than many fans would like to believe. Like, believe me, dude, I'm not a fan of the NBA. Like, I don't even know who is ever in the playoffs, who is ever in contention. I'm like, oh, the Milwaukee Bucks, they're good. I thought they were trash. Like, I like seeing clips of sports for the inspiration and for the amazement of it, but I've never been the type of person to follow a team. Not looking down on those who do, but it's just like, that's not the perspective on this that I'm coming from. The perspective on this that I'm coming from is Kobe Bryant. Like, people will side with an accusation that's probably false and was probably, probably just drummed up for whatever psychological reason in the person. But no one knows for sure. Maybe he's a total, utter rapist. I just fucking doubt it. With his, what I perceive of his character, and what I perceive of, what I've seen of him, and, and I've had exposure to a lot of interviews and different moments from Kobe. It doesn't make sense. I mean, most people who are, offenders of a sexual nature, whom I fucking despise, are going to be repeat offenders, like Jeffrey Epstein, or like R. Kelly even. I'm not sparing R. Kelly in this video, like, because this is not from a fucking perspective of like, oh, we need to protect the male celebrities from, their mistakes. Like, I just don't think that Kobe sexually assaulted anyone. I just really don't think that. And it's odd because people will just believe anything if it's a sexual assault allegation against a man. They'll just believe it no matter what. And, I mean, do your own digging on this, but feminists will outright say, if there is a false allegation, oh well, it doesn't matter, because it contributes to the idea that there's a lot of unreported sexual assault going on, and if a false accusation is ever vindicated and someone proves that it was false, that's kind of a shame, actually, because it it reinforces the idea that some allegations could be false. And so, I mean, we don't even got to go into the fact that if it was, a man, that they're not going to get a similar treatment. They're not going to, I mean, you can even look at like, what's their names? Corey Haim and Corey whomever, who have accused people in Hollywood of molestation on them when they were young. They don't get any sympathy from the media. Nobody believes them. Even with the female victims of Jeffrey Epstein, the media used to try to drag them through the mud. And the same people trying to... Oh, I guess the light isn't working. Let me see. Let me just turn this on. The same people trying to cancel Kobe Bryant are a lot of the same media people who back in the past would have, not reported a story about Jeffrey Epstein because he's a donor to the Democrats, because he's probably a spy for Mossad in Israel, because, they can just feel that that's not the way the wind is blowing. They don't want to say anything negative about the Clintons or anything. Nothing with Jeffrey Epstein was politically correct until it got forced on everybody. And now, what is it, like 85% of Americans believe that Epstein did not kill himself, which is probably the case. He probably did not kill himself. But the same media outlets that would call that a total conspiracy theory just hook, line, and sinker buy a weird accusation from someone who, apparently I think was 19 when they accused Kobe of doing it. I guess they can't conceive of the idea that, you know, for certain women, if a sexual encounter with a celebrity doesn't result in them blowing up in popularity or getting a bunch of money, which she ultimately got, or, you know, getting some kind of notoriety or being his wife, that they wouldn't lash out in some way, in a way where they know that they're almost 100% likely to be completely believed by the majority of people. And so it's just weird to me. It's just a weird world that someone can, like, get up at 5 a.m. and just work their ass off every fucking day and achieve a level of glory that is unprecedented, and, you know, have women like the accuser, most likely, constantly throwing themselves at them because they're a fucking champ. And you know, one encounter goes awkward, or the person just had a personality disorder, or whatever it is, most likely, because I said in the beginning, I acknowledged it could be fucking true, but I doubt it. They can have one encounter go sideways or weird, and then, you know, it's like, then they die unexpectedly with their daughter, who they heavily support and heavily support women's sports, which is great. And then, you know, the people who he was, you know, in a way trying to please and trying to pacify by such philanthropic efforts, perhaps, just immediately turn on him, just out of expedience, and just go, well, a 19-year-old, like, baselessly made a claim. Any conspiracy theory or anything that is, like, shouldn't even be a conspiracy theory, but it's just a fact that the media doesn't like, they'll say it's baseless. When are they going to say that this accusation on Kobe Bryant is baseless? It's just like, it's just kind of demoralizing, because you see that no matter how, you know, transcendental your fucking character is, and no matter how much energy and risk you put into life, and you win, that still at the end of the day, a bunch of SJWs are going to just be able to have a massive impact on you just because they have ressentiment and envy and fucking spite, and they don't enjoy life. So they're going to fucking, like, twist something into trying to make it seem like it's completely true when the evidence points in the other direction. So that's what pisses me off about the Kobe thing. And I could rant about this for days, and I don't know if I'm going to stop here in a minute or if I'm going to stop in 10 minutes. I'm not 100% sure. But it just pisses me off. Believe all women. I mean, no. Don't believe all men. Don't believe all women. Believe your eyes. Believe what you can see. They didn't believe all women when it was fucking Jeffrey Epstein. They didn't believe all women even when it was Bill Clinton. They were trying to say that, oh, these women, they were bringing out all the tropes, and all the women's groups were bringing out all the tropes that are leveled against any of their, like, enemies now, that they're leveling those against the Epstein actual victims. So it's sort of like how Lisa Bloom tried to step out and represent fucking Harvey Weinstein for whatever tribal reasons, or who knows, but, like, you know, a person who has made her career off of, you know, supporting dubious claims of sexual assault. Now there are concrete fucking evidence of sexual assault, and she defends the accused. It's bullshit. This shit is bullshit. It is not right. It is not proper. And it is so not proper that it pisses me off. Okay? And so, I guess what I want to say is that just look at the Epstein case. How many prominent officials, especially on the left, were protecting this rich Israeli-tied dude and still try to just bury the story under newer shit. And look at how many of those same types of individuals are saying, well, you know, Kobe Bryant, you know, maybe this was karma because, you know, he's a rapist. There's no evidence for that. I'm sorry. People pay off settlements all the time to things that they didn't do, just to quiet it down, just to listen to their agent, and just to listen to the pragmatic people who don't have that type of you know, will that Kobe had to maybe go for the truth or to maybe like do what he actually wanted, you know, who are just like, come on, man, simmer down, just pay the settlement, it'll blow over. That didn't work for Kobe. Having it blow over and just being like, well, you know, I'll admit to the adultery, but I don't admit to the thing, but I guess she could have thought that it wasn't consentful. I know consentful is probably not a word, but he compromised on what he may have originally done because of lawfare and court of public opinion and the way the shit works. But I have a deeper theory about why this shit comes out about Kobe in particular. This is never going to come out about Bill Clinton. It's never going to come out about Joe Biden in the same way under the same circumstances of SJW mob rule. It's not going to happen. You know why? It's not going to happen because Nietzsche talked about resentment and rage and envy, and how look at what your envy shows you. Don't just blindly follow your envy like an animal. Look at what your envy shows you. What are you getting triggered by in other people? What are you getting freaked out by? People, Kobe was a striver. Kobe was a winner by definition. Kobe was a person who was outworking everybody. And he was just genetically and fucking gifted and just superior. You know, in the physical basketball way that made him all his money and, you know, got him his notoriety. You know, he had innate traits that were superior, and he also harnessed them and outworked his his opponents who maybe had similar gifts. So SJWs and broken people and people with, you know, low testosterone that they have no desire to fucking fix, they don't like this kind of quality. They don't like it in groups. They don't like it in individuals. They will jump all over an individual, whether that's Logan Paul, whether that's Justin Bieber, whether that's anybody who makes you feel a little jealous. Oh, I'm so jealous. Kobe Bryant subtly did that in the minds of these SJWs. They don't like seeing a tough, buff, fucking superstar fucking just get off scot-free with exposing how little these SJWs care about their own work ethic. They don't want to see that at all. So there's gotta be some type of, the karma that they're talking about is the karma for being successful when the SJWs are not and don't have any hope that they can be. And that's a shame, dude. And it comes down to fucking hormones, and it comes down to our fucked up health system and the way that to touch on the occult warehouse aspect of it, the way that the powers that be literally encourage chronic disease and don't want to fix it. But they'll trip out about the coronavirus, because it's a viral thing. It's a different thing attacking us. But they don't give a shit about autoimmune disease. Their whole paradigm about chronic disease and autoimmune disease is it'll never be cured, and anyone complaining about it is just a wuss, and you should just get over it. They don't care. Kobe was a striver, and he triggered the envy and resentment in these fucking SJWs. And so they're going to dig through everything, just like they dig through the Twitters of people who disagree with them 11 years back, and try to just fucking like present some shit that will make the feeding frenzy of SJW envy and resentment machine go insane and make the mobs go insane. Don't side with the fucking mob, bro. Look at Kobe Bryant and look at this, his pattern of behavior throughout his life, his life on and off the court, his character of what we can discern of it. Does he fit the profile of a fucking rapist? Or does he fit the profile of someone who was most likely targeted by someone who the SJWs misguidedly want to fucking support? That's all I gotta say.